I'm going to start working on a garden because nothing matters and it's the only thing I feel like doing. This area around me is just kind of a empty wasteland behind my garage, and it will be transformed into a raised bed area. Yes, it's February, but it's going to take me some time to get ready for planting. But first, before I get started, gotta walk my dog. So all the lumber is for a fence that will go here, mostly so critters and my dogs don't get in the garden and pee on stuff. Before I do that, I'm going to map everything out, put out some stakes just so I know the general layout of things. And then once I do that, we'll start in on our fence. So we'll do the layout and then the fence. Okay. Now that that's done, let me take you on a little bit of a tour. Here will be a beautiful gate. The fence, edge of garage, to the edge of the fence. And there will be, oh, I forgot a corner. Dang it, let me get this corner. BRB. And there's going to be 4 raised plots. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Over here will be pollinator flowers. Eventually over there on the other side will be a little bench and a rain barrel. The nice thing about wood turning, well, at least in this context, is that I create a lot of dust, just kind of laying down mulch so it's not so muddy where we walk. So my next step now is to dig some holes for a fence that will go in the front. It's getting a little dark. I don't know how many holes I can dig for that fence, but we'll do what we can. All right, y'all. Well, I got about 6 inches into digging a hole, and I don't feel like it anymore. And I'm going to do it tomorrow. There's only like an hour of sunlight left, and I gotta go eat some noodles with friends. So I'm going to wait until tomorrow. Goodbye. It's the next day now, and I'm feeling mentally prepared and physically prepared, mostly, to dig some holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes. They don't have to be out a foot, which isn't too bad. Any more than that, it gets pretty hard. And yeah, we're gonna dig 6 holes. At the start of this video, I said something about nothing mattering, and I think that it can sound kind of hopeless, but it's honestly kind of a relief. I don't really know what the context that you need for that to be true for you, but yeah, recently my mother passed, and I think that's kind of was my nothing really matters scenario. I've also never been that close to death before, and I mean closeness in the sense of just kind of my life experience. And for some reason, right now, working on this fence that will go in the front of the garden is what's making sense to me right now. Yeah, the nothing matters in the sense of like your day in, day out stuff, what you do for a living, doesn't really matter. And I've kind of been discovering that the longer that I've been working in my business, but for some reason, the loss of a parent has really sparked that, and the importance of community and reflecting on the importance of community. And I've experienced a lot of sadness, but strangely experienced a lot of joy. Brought specifically by the loss of my mother. And a lot of that joy has come from my community. And everyone's community looks a little different. Here in Columbus, I don't have any family, but I have lots of friends. Several of them are childhood friends, which is unusual, but when emergencies happen, they've really shown up. And them showing up is sometimes just having someone to talk to, or bringing you some chicken noodle soup, or watching your dogs because you have an emergency and you have to go to the hospital right away. Found it a weird way to connect with family again. Specifically, I've been thinking a lot about my sister, because my sister and I were with my mom when she passed, and while it was completely miserable, it is this strange, I feel closer in some way. And that's when that nothing matters creeps in, because in those moments where we were just together with our mom in her last moments, we were there for each other, and that's really special. I was there with my stepfather, who's really kind of, I don't know, our communities, even though he isn't related to me more directly, he's been a part of my community. A lot of this just seems like kind of ramblings. It probably is. But if you want to listen to it, you can. If it bums you out, I get it. But yeah, the nothing matters of when I was with my sister and my stepfather, I didn't think at all about my job or what other people thought of me, or if the art that I made was good, or I was making the right business decisions. Not that those things aren't important at times to think about, because we do live in a society in which you have to work for money, and it supports your lifestyle, supports your community. But I think the specifics of that and how much weight we put into fulfilling that part of our lives starts to really diminish, especially when we experience grief and sadness. And yeah, it made me, I've already been leaning in this direction, but just thinking a lot about how I can create a life for myself that my job isn't the only thing that rewards me. If you know a little bit more about me, maybe you don't, my education is in music, composition specifically, but I also performed a lot. I'm a percussionist, and music is still important to me, but for some reason I've been thinking a lot about how that relates to what I'm doing now and kind of how much pressure I was putting on myself to reach a certain level of achievement. And I think academia will really do that to you. Don't get me wrong. I love my education. Specifically, my undergrad was really awesome, and I had teachers that really taught through love rather than fear, and were really just worried about me expressing myself. My first job out of school was at kitchen, being a prep cook, and then after that I worked for the public library. And at the public library I realized just how much people go through. It becomes easy for us to ignore things around us, like our community, supporting each other, having time to commit to our friendships and our relationships with those we care about, taking care of ourselves. I don't think I had a single conversation about what it looked like to exist in the world and hold your education while also having all these things you care about. That was never a conversation I had during any of my time in higher ed, and it's now kind of the only question I'm asking myself. Another thing that's been happening that I've been thinking a lot about is the handy person side of my business has been picking up a little bit more, and a lot of the people that I'm helping are some of those closest friends in my community who showed up for me and, brought me food, took care of my animals, just chatted with me. It felt really nice to take care of them after they took care of me. My time of grief is certainly not over, and it won't be, ever. Having some friends to help you along the way, it's pretty awesome. Looking at what you're supporting your community looks like, I felt like I was doing that. I was painting their kitchen and removing their old cabinets to get ready for them to have new cabinets installed. So I did that, and it took me a few days to do everything. Also, don't put wallpaper in your house. It sucks. It sucks. It's so bad to take out. I just felt so grateful in that moment of caring for them that I got to help them make a space that feels safe and cozy for them, and when they're hosting their community, whenever we hang out, help people find their spaces that help them feel safe and cozy and like they look forward to getting back to them. Because, man, that's such a gift and an immense privilege. And not everyone has that. And I'm getting cruising and I'm going farther than I need to. It's all right. Hopefully what I'm saying you're able to somewhat grasp onto. But all I can say now is that I like that it feels quiet right now. I am looking forward to having this garden to take care of. And sometimes digging a hole can feel pretty good. But I am glad to be on the last one. I think it's time for me to start laying in some posts. 4x4x8s. I will cut them in half to 4-foot lengths, and then they will each get buried a foot in the ground, leaving 3 feet above the ground, so the fence will be 3 feet tall. Yeah, thanks for listening to my ramblings. I've been finding lots of moments of joy, filled with also confusion and some sadness, but That's okay. Well, it's okay for it to not be okay, but the acceptance of that's just what it's going to be like today. Let's cut some boards. Let's do some carpentry. All right, now that this one's in, I'm going to put in the opposite one on the other side of the fence and then put a line between them so it's as straight as possible. Okay, we have to be quiet. It's a woodpecker. Oh, look at that little guy, just going to town. He's just vibing and existing. Only that something that I strive to do. Do you think he's filled with existential dread? No one knows, but he's beautiful and he's trying to probably look for bugs. I hope he finds them. Do you think woodpeckers know what grief is? Do you think woodpeckers know what a fence is? I don't think so. I think they're just vibing. Alright, we're gonna leave this little guy. We're gonna get back to work. But I love those little buddies. Please don't kill my tree. I love my tree. I only have this one tree in my yard. And if you kill it, I'll be very sad. Okay, I love you. Goodbye. Alright, y'all. I'm feeling pretty happy with this. I'll show you here. They're feeling pretty straight. I will have posts that connect these together and I'll continue to level them out. Now we're getting to the part that I was really looking forward to, which is making this fence a fence. We will put in the cross supports. They'll go horizontally across here. And then we'll put up some chicken wire. And then I have a few things to frame it out so it looks a little bit nicer, because it has to have maximum whimsy. That's my goal for this garden, is to have it be whimsical. There will be a scarecrow. You gotta have one. I've never had one. I really want a scarecrow. So let's do it. Okay, everyone, as you can see, I put these cross beams up already. My phone died, and then I took a break, got some coffee, a snack, and now I'm going to unload 40 bags of topsoil, and maybe I'll do one of those cool, like, editing things where, like, it's like I'm really quickly setting them down. We'll see how that goes and what my energy level is like while I'm editing. Delicioso. I don't really know what that was, but I feel like it was important. Here we go. We're gonna put up some chicken wire. You know, it's only slightly infuriating. I did mess up a little bit, but nothing some pliers can't fix. Strangely, or maybe not strangely, I find it comforting to make things, and whether that's on my house or my friends that I was talking to you about, yeah, I just like making stuff, and especially things that are just kind of the daily reminders of things that bring you comfort. Why do I have Margaritaville stuck in my head? How many bars of it do you think I could play before copyright infringement sets in? Minus the door here, you could say this is done, but I would like it to look, I don't know if you remember earlier, I mentioned I wanted to be whimsical. So I'm gonna frame things out a little bit, see if I can make it look a little more finished, not so rough around the edges. I'm excited about this part. So we shall see how that goes. I think I'm done for the day. I'm tired and I'm hungry. Really don't have too much more. Just need to finish framing things out with these. And then tomorrow I'll build the door that will go here. Feeling good about the progress today. Deuces. It's another day again. Another day. It's crazy how that happens sometimes, that you go to sleep and then the next day you wake up. So I'm going to try and finish my fence. The fence. It's probably going to rain in a few hours. This is nicer than I thought it would be. Although it is kind of cold. Is there anything else I can say? I don't think so. But it's the next day. And that's crazy. Let's finish a fence. Now that that's done, it's time for a gate. It should be pretty easy, hopefully. I always say that, and it's never as easy as I think it is, but I think I'll enjoy it. I've never made a gate before. This is me doing that. Just gonna be a square, have some slats on it. Let's give it a shot. Give it a rumble tumble. The old 1-2. Okay, I have to stop talking. We have to just make stuff. It's raining. Oh, piss. Is it gonna stop? Maybe. Ooh, it's stopping. It stopped. But I'm scared. I like it. Need to install the hinges. It's raining. I don't want to do it in the rain. It's a Christmas miracle because right as I went inside, it stopped raining, so I can finish this up hopefully in the next 40 minutes or so before the rain really sets in. Let's do it. Rain's back. I give up.